Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sean here, and welcome back. God, man, it's been a while. Welcome back, myself. Today we're going to be starting something new here on the channel, which I've actually done a little bit of before. If you guys have been around for a couple of years, which I know most of you haven't. Actually, I guess, wow, okay, never mind. Most of you have. Man, that was a long ass time ago. So a couple of years ago, I did some MLB The Show, like 17 rebuilds. Um, I don't think I really did any last year, but these are going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be the whole like 5 seasons in one video type of thing. It's going to be broken up into probably like one video for the regular season, one for the playoffs if we make those, and one for the off season. So 3 videos for one whole year. So I think it's going to be better for everybody. I hope so, at least, but we're going to see how it goes. So, of course, as you guys can probably have picked up on by now, anytime I start doing rebuilds on a new game, I always choose my favorite team to do first. On Madden, it's always the Jets, of course, and on MLB, it's going to be the Mets. So, taking a look at the Mets roster, starting pitching, we've got Jacob deGrom and Noah Syndergaard. I don't foresee either of these guys going anywhere for a while. I mean, of course, once age becomes a factor and they start declining, and this goes for everybody because this is probably going to be about 10 years or so, hopefully, is what I'm aiming for at the moment. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Zach Wheeler usually does pretty solid in these rebuilds. So I'm going to keep him around. And Steven Matz actually does pretty well too, surprisingly. We definitely do need a 5th starter because Jason Vargas / Urban Santana are both 36. And they're not going to, for a 5th starter, meh. But, I'd rather get a younger guy with a little bit of potential in there. Speaking of, we don't have, oh wow, look at David Peterson's glove. If it comes back up, look at that. That's cute. We don't have a ton of starting pitching prospects. David Peterson, he is 22, but I don't think I've ever seen him really develop too much. We also have Thomas Zapucki, who's also 22. Same with him. He never really seems to develop. Matthew Allen, was he a draft pick in this past draft? I don't remember seeing him until recently. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, so we've got Allen and Richardson down here. Really young guys, both 18, 61 overalls. So hopefully some of these guys can turn into something, maybe be like a 3-4 starter at best, I would think. As for the bullpen, Jerry's Familia always just does so bad for me. He just shits the bed every single season. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him. And I think, I know his 48 walks per 9 is most likely the reason. Walks per 9 apparently is just a very important attribute in franchise mode, and it really kind of determines how well of a pitcher you're going to be, which is kind of weird. But anyway, that's just something I've noticed and picked up on through watching other people's rebuilds and doing my own. The rest of the bullpen is really not that good. Seth Lugo is probably going to be good as a long man. Aside from that, there's really not too much here. Luis Avalon, I could probably hold on to for a couple of years maybe. Edwin Diaz usually is a stud in franchise. In real life, he's been kind of shit in the bed lately, but we should be good at closer for a while. He's also going to be really cheap for the next 3 years because he's got those 3 arbitration years. Catcher is something that we're going to have to look to hopefully get a couple of prospects in the system at. Wilson Ramos is 31. He usually does actually really well for me for like 2-3 years before he starts to decline. But we don't really have a good young guy in here that can hopefully take over when Wilson Ramos' time is up. Pete Alonso, though, of course, stud first baseman, A potential. I think he actually has 99 potential. Let me just double check. 97. All right, still pretty damn good. Only a 76 overall at the moment, but I mean, he did just break the Mets' rookie record for most home runs in a season, and it's, as I'm saying this, it's June 26th, so that's nuts. Pretty sure he has 27. I don't think he hit one last night, but I could be wrong. I only watched part of the game. Todd Frazier we're going to move because he's making a ton of money, 8.5 mil for a 66 overall. It is just for 1 year, but there's no sense in keeping him. Robinson Cano, we are also going to try to move. Sometimes it's kind of tough. Usually a team like the Dodgers can take on his contract, but we do have to take on a bad contract or two back. But Jeff McNeil is so good. God, the dude just hits for average. Like, I don't know, man. He's just a monster. Squirrel is his nickname. Jed Lowry, we're going to go ahead and add to the 40-man as well, but we're going to ship him off somewhere. 9.3 mil, no thanks. Third base, by the way, is also another place that we're going to have to look to try to accumulate a couple of prospects. Gavin Cecchini is 25 and a 62 overall. He does have a potential for some reason. So he does actually have a decent amount of trade value, which is nice. So we're definitely going to look to trade him. Ahmed Rosario is kind of weird. He really doesn't develop too well until his later 20s. But I have seen him hit 99 overall eventually. And I'm talking like after 15 years, I've seen him be a 99 over, or maybe not even 15. I don't know. After 10 years, definitely, I've seen him at 99, but yikes. Like, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And for some reason, shortstops, more than any other position, are just ungodly expensive to sign. So we'll see, because we do also have Andres Jimenez and Ronnie Mauricio, a couple of young prospects at the shortstop position. Both have a potential. Both end up being pretty damn good. I thought Jimenez could actually play third. No, it's Mauricio that can play third. So if need be, we could slide him over there, but I don't think his bat is really going to develop into the kind of third base bat that you would hope for. Yoenis Cespedes, we're getting rid of him. Definitely getting rid of him, and that albatross of a contract, 25 mil for a 73 overall. He really barely has played in the last 2 years. And I'm saying 2 years, including this year in real life, because he got hurt doing something. He like broke his ankle doing something at his house or his ranch or whatever. I don't know. Dominic Smith, I think, is probably going to start in left field for us. Brendan Nimmo, I am going to move to left field just to make his position left field, so his overall is high. Actually, hang on a second. I don't want to do that yet. Move him back to center. We are going to actually play Brandon Nimmo in the lineup in center field, but if we move him over to left, his overall go up a little bit. So just kind of nice to have, I guess. Carlos Gomez back on the Mets. Like, what? When did he debut? 2007. 12 years later, back on the Mets. Juan Lagares is okay. He's pretty good defensively. Can't really hit too well. But we'll keep him around for a little bit. Maybe. Michael Conforto, I really want to hang on to. Definitely one of my favorite players. He usually does pretty well. He usually hits about 280-ish and about 30 home runs. So hopefully he can continue that and keep growing. So that's pretty much the roster. I'm trying to think if I missed any prospects aside from Tim Tebow. Desmond Lindsay usually develops into a pretty solid like fourth outfielder because of his defense. Aside from that, I really don't think there's too much. Brett Batty, I know, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but he was the Mets' first round draft pick in the draft a few weeks ago. Only a C potential, which is kind of disappointing. I guess I can ask you guys if you want me to change his potential maybe to like a mid B, just to see if he can develop since he was a first round pick. maybe just to have that be a little bit more interesting of like a storyline or prospect or, whatever. So anyway, let me know down in the comments if I should edit Brett Batty a little bit, just to make him usable in a few years. But yeah, really, aside from that, that's pretty much the team. So there are a couple of things I'm going to do. But first, I need to clear up some room. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a couple of trades real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, you know what? I actually decided just to take you guys along for the ride. This is going to kind of be more of like a more personal type of feel to the videos, I think, with these rebuilds compared to, the hour-long, heavily edited ones. A little bit more interaction through my thought process behind things and such. So we're going to be sending Jason Vargas to the Cardinals for Seth Elledge, but we're also going to be including... Actually, no, we're not, because we're going to move Justin Wilson to a relief pitcher. We are going to include a just random reliever, just to clear up a roster spot, because I do want to be making or clearing up a couple of roster spots while I'm at it. Irvin Santana actually has decent trade value. We might be able to get a decent prospect with him. See if maybe we include Jed Lowry. His salary might be a little high. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. So we definitely have some options here. A lot of A potentials. Oh, win. Usually gets pretty good. I've had him a few times before in my own rebuilds. Keep going here. Ryan Rollison, Gavin Lux, Hunter Bishop. I don't actually know who that is. Jay Groom. I don't know. I don't know about Jay Groom. I've gotten him a few times and he usually gets to like a high 80s overall, but he never really pitches all that well. Shane Baz. I think I'm not sure if I've ever used him, but just actually hang on. He's 19. And Cole Winn is 18. So I think we're going to get Cole Winn. Let's just take a look at his attributes. Really not too bad. I'd like to see the walks per nine up a little bit, but not too bad. So let's go ahead and do that. We get a big-time pitching prospect in the system with that trade. We do need to get rid of Cespedes' contract. And it's going to be kind of tough. So the way that I do this, I just trade for, a few bad contracts and then just trade them away. I kind of get the total salary down bit by bit. Where do I want to send him to? Guess we can send him to the Orioles. Zach something, Alex Cobb and Jace Peterson for Yoenis Cespedes. So I know Alex Cobb's taking up the majority of that salary right there that we just took on. So we're definitely going to move him. Fernando Rodney. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do that. And I don't think I really want him in the bullpen, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to move him for anything. Really just a salary dump. All right, let's take this 20-year-old third baseman from the Giants. Only a C potential, but that's okay. Really just a salary dump. Robinson Cano now. Oh, why'd I even do prospects? Not going to come up. Okay. So, I really just want to get the salary off the books. I mean, he usually retires after like 2 years. But I'd rather have Jeff McNeil starting at second base. Oh, actually, I forgot I could do that trade. I might bring in George Springer, because he's usually pretty good. And, Caleb Ferguson, though. I love getting Caleb Ferguson. If you guys don't know, Caleb Ferguson, if you guys are ever doing a rebuild yourself, Caleb Ferguson, this reliever on the Dodgers, becomes so good. I don't know what it is about him, but I love getting that guy. Now, it all depends on if I want an outfield of Nimmo, Springer, Conforto, or I want Smith, Nimmo, Conforto. Now, Smith, I don't think Dominic Smith ever really develops that well, is the only issue. I wish he would, but just doesn't. But George Springer's already 29. Let's play it a little bit smarter. Go ahead and get what should turn out to be a staple in the bullpen for years with Caleb Ferguson. Rich Hill, we can always trade his contract somewhere else. And Robinson Cano goes to a good team. So Rich Hill, actually, he's only in a 1 year. I could just keep him to have another lefty besides Steven Matz in the rotation, since we did trade away Jason Vargas. And he is just on a 1 year deal. So his contract is going to be gone very shortly. And he doesn't have a ton of value either. So I think I may just do that. Now, looking elsewhere, get rid of Todd Frazier. That's something we need to do. Zach Birdie, I'll take it. Be potential reliever. Moving on. You have Juan Lagares. I'm gonna hold on to him. Matt Kemp, we can get rid of. Taking $2.4 million for no reason. See if we can snag a B. Jake Jewell. Is that the only B we can get? No. Just old reliever. Old reliever prospects is what we're getting here. So let's send him to the Cubs, I guess. And let's see. I know we have Hector Santiago, the reliever, making like $2 million. Yeah, no reason for that. I mean, he is only on a 1 year, but okay. That'll be fine then for the 1 year. Familia, I hope he does well. If he's not doing well by the trade deadline, I'm probably honestly just going to trade him and see if we can get a decent arm in return. But anyway, as far as clearing out bad contracts, I think that's pretty much it, which is nice. We didn't really have to do a ton of work. Yeah, that's good. So there are a few free agents that I do like to sign. Need to see if I have. No, I don't. Okay. I'm just gonna release some players. I don't feel like going through and didn't. I don't feel like going through and trading for just a bunch of players just to get these extra players off the team. So we're just going to release a bunch. Hector Santiago, we're paying him anyway. Just release him. I always like releasing the older C potentials first. Yeah, okay. Justin Wilson, we need to add to the majors. Same with Caleb Ferguson. Go ahead and do that. And do we need to get rid of a starter? Get rid of him. Get rid of a shortstop. We will get rid of the nah. I feel bad for Ruben Todd. I will keep him on the team, I guess. All right, so we've got a few roster spots open. Now, the guys that I like to go sign in free agency are Alexander Palma. These guys are all real-life prospects, international free agent prospects that haven't signed with a team yet. But Alexander Palma, right fielder, Jason Dominguez, a center fielder, and Robert Poison, a shortstop. So what I do, and I'm just going to change the secondary positions to the outfield, just because that makes sense. What I do with these guys, because they should be signing minor league contracts, is I move their primary position to catcher first, and then I remove them from the 40-man roster. That way, no other team is going to claim them when they go on waivers. And then I move them back to their normal position, because when you look at it, they're signing minor league contracts. So I don't understand why it puts them immediately on the 40-man roster and in the major leagues. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's just what we're going to do. So we're going to remove them from the 40-man roster. Nobody's going to claim them since they're catchers and they're not good at playing catcher, obviously. And then in a few days, we can move him back. Okay. I do need to sign some players here and there just for depth purposes, which that part I will do away from you guys. Just want to quickly see if there's any other free agents that... Oh, actually, I forgot completely about these guys. Carlos Asuaje is another guy that I always sign. He's got B potential. I have actually had him jump up to A potential before. And Christian Villanueva, same thing with him. They pretty much are just good placeholders. They're pretty cheap. So I just like bringing them on. Chris Owings, I'm also going to bring in just because he can pretty much play everywhere. And that's always nice to have. And my roster is full. So let's go release Ruben Tejada. Sorry, buddy. Hope your leg is healed now, but, you know. Gotta move on. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for those. There are a few like B potential starting pitchers. Actually, we may have to bring back Bartolo. I don't know. Might have to. But I'm not really too worried about them anyway, the B potential starting pitchers, because they're never really that good. Starlin Castillo actually has decent trade value. I might pick him up. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to be it for this first episode. We kind of just had to get a lot of house cleaning done in this one. Next episode is going to be the regular season of year number 1. And I'll see you then. So I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be quite a bit of MLB The Show 19 content coming out in the future, I hope. I always say that, and then, you know what happens. You know. Okay. All right. Adios, amigos. See you in the next one.